Grandmaster DPS, Flex, Projectile, kind of like everything. Looks like it.
Yeah.
Kind of,
I actually had one Hitscan VOD and one like Genji VOD that I was gonna show, but yeah.
goals hit champion. I feel like what's holding it back. It's very tough for me to make adjustments in game or figure out why things aren't working. Okay. 7 hours of sleep could be better. Worked with Temporal up until a few months ago. Ex-collegiate, top 20. Okay. Man, Temporal, long time no chat with him. We used to coach together a lot. I'm sure you know that, but way back in the day.
Yeah, he talks about you. I mean, I guess you were a Contenders coach back in the day. I mean, he
Yeah.
coached in what, like
No,
20 something? I
he
don't even remember.
he was an assistant coach with me with Phase 2 in 2019 and Sydney Drop Bears.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
way back in the day. So, and then I went on from there, and then he got kind of burned out. I think he got scammed out of an Overwatch League trial. I think it really made him upset, and so he kind of went on from there. So,
Yeah.
I eventually made the league, but it was quite the grind. Okay, let's jump in. Any questions before we get in here?
Not really. I mean, I guess just a little bit of context. Yeah, so I did just finish working with Temporal, and I asked him kind of what my biggest weaknesses were as a player, and one of the things he said was like in-game problem solving, so like getting a read of like the game, what's going wrong, what's going right, and then making adjustments. And I really agree with what he said. And I'm trying to apply that in ranked. I feel like I can consistently get like top like 150, top 100, but I'm really trying to get like even higher.
Sure.
And I feel like that would make a big difference for me.
So I might be completely making this up, but my impression from my experience with working with players that are really good at problem solving is that there is the only way that you're able to problem solve is through analogy. And what I mean by that is somebody that is good at problem solving is probably just experienced a lot of different types of problems. And so when they're confronted with a quote unquote new problem, they're just more experienced at tying similarities between the two. For example, I do a lot of board games, and I get faster at learning new board games, not because I'm just a better, smarter person, but because I go, oh, that part is like, or oh, yeah, this is like, you get what I'm saying? So when you say that you're maybe have a weakness with problem solving, I would press you to answer what type of problems.
I mean, I guess like in game, I feel like a lot of times when a game starts, I'm able to like do pretty well. I feel like my mechanics take me pretty far. My like game knowledge takes me pretty far. But if the enemies make an adjustment that like I can't immediately solve with just mechanics brute forcing or like using the way I'm already trying to play, I feel like it's very tough for me to like take a step back and be like, what's working, what isn't. And I
Yeah.
feel like I don't know if I can give you like a more specific
No, that's okay.
example of a
That's okay.
problem, but
I'm not expecting that, but I am saying that there should be an answer for you.
oh, okay. I see.
And so if when you say the enemy is making an adjustment, I would again ask you, what adjustment? A hero swap? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let me give you an example.
Sure.
Let me interject really fast here. So an adjustment could be a hero swap. Oh, they swap from, Casta Torp. Are you just bad at 1v1ing Torb? Do you try to change how you play when you really don't need to? Do they go, oh, I keep camping this cast, so they swapped Harmony Orb on him, and Zenyatta was tossing Discord my way every single time I dueled him, and I didn't know how to deal with that. Well, that's just you don't know how to take 2v1s. That's not a problem with you being unable to problem solve. You don't know how to problem solve a 2v1, or you don't know how to problem solve a Torbjorn versus a Cassidy, or I don't know how to IRL problem solve because when they had support ults, no, stop. You don't know how to problem solve around ults. And so what we're going to try to do, hopefully in this review, is isolate those things, because there's nothing wrong with you in that you're unable to problem solve globally. It's that there's certain types of decisions that you're just not experienced at thinking about. Like when I talk about the smartest players that I've ever coached when it comes to problem solving, probably somebody like Hadi comes to mind. But it's because he's really good at knowing specific matchups, knowing specific ult game situations, knowing certain objective situations. But I wouldn't put Hadi into like a chicken coop, set the chicken coop on fire and be like, Hadi, you're really good at problem solving, solve the problem, right? Like he has no experience with that type of problem. So he has really good at solving Overwatch specific ult game macro problems, but that's a totally different type of problem. So I'm not saying that Temporal is wrong. I'm saying that I'm challenging you in this session, and more importantly, after the session, when you feel like you can't solve, like, oh, I'm not very good at like making mid-fight adjustments, ask yourself what adjustments need to be made, or what type of adjustments are you asking?
Yeah.
And so then you can actually study.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I think it's important that we like, it's not some like vague ethereal thing that you have to go and study in the Nepalese mountains, with a monastery for 7 years to understand. No, it's probably just not know what do with ults or 2v1 bad. It's not hard. It's not easy to do, but it's not necessarily a very complicated mystical problem.
Got it. Okay, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Okay. So that being said, I'd like to look at a code where you felt like maybe you had problem solving.
Got it. Okay. So I have like 2 codes. One's on Hitscan, one's on Genji. And I feel like both of them we were doing pretty well at first, but I felt like we kind of got stuck at some point, and I wasn't really able to
problem solving.
recover. Yeah.
Problem solving.
I don't know exactly if like one of them was like because of a hero swap or something, but
Well, we'll know. I'll tell you.
okay.
Or maybe even better, I'll make you figure it out.
Okay, so this is the first one. This is New Queen Street, and I start on Cass, and I eventually go to Soj.
Okay. Why?
So the enemy team has Cardifan on it, and I figured it would just be easier to play Cass because we also have a Genji one trick on our team, so that was kind of my reasoning for starting on that.
And then you swapped off. Why? Let me do a quick check to see this
it
isn't
kind of
flop.
just wasn't working. We started losing. I didn't really know what was going on. I felt like I wasn't doing much on Cass, and I feel like a lot of times when I can't solve a problem, my immediate solution is just like, okay, swap heroes. And I feel like that's served me well in the past. I mean, obviously, like getting to GM and stuff, you have to have some level of like subconscious problem solving, but like a lot of times it's me just like getting a shift in perspective from being on a different hero versus making like a conscious choice of, okay, I should be on this hero because of this.
Sure. So it's not conscious, and basically that's a big problem. Okay, because it's not bad to make decisions unconsciously and quickly because they are quick because they're unconscious, right? That's why they happen just immediately, right? But ultimately, if you're unable to tell me whether Sojourn was the right play or not here, because you just did it kind of randomly because things weren't working, that's not good.
Yeah.
It should be a very quick, unconscious decision that's done through a lot of conscious hours of experience of like, hey, what's the right swap here, right?
Yeah.
I would say Sojourn's much better on the map. Given the small amounts of verticality and just how wide of a map it is, right? But Cass versus Sojourn, which one's better versus Doomfist specifically? I mean, I don't really care. I think both are fine,
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let's take a look. I'm almost tempted to... Yeah, so here's the thing. When you go, I don't know if the Cassidy or my play or my decision-making was the reason why we were struggling. That's a problem. There needs to be some form of self-awareness here.
Yeah.
I'm obviously going to have a base level of expectations of you playing, like your GM3, yeah?
Yeah.
You know our rank
last
reset.
season.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is too far. You need to take space. Just basically playing outside of your effective range, on anything.
Yeah.
This is fine. I mean, I'd rather you here. At least you're close to something. If I don't have a lot to say, I'm going to skip. I'm going to be efficient with your time because we might even have time to look at 2 codes depending on how fast we go.
Yeah, no worries.
If any questions come up, just let me know.
Sure.
The event horizon is ineludible.
It's fine. Just pushing staggers. Backing off. This angle should be fine. As long as you have Hender. Yeah, you're fine. As long as you don't get naded, you should be okay. I actually like a little bit more confidence holding this angle, just because of where this fight is happening. This is to your effective range. There's really no reason for you to leave this angle as long as you have CDs and support LOS. And ironically, by vacating this angle, you get shot because you rotate in the open.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
holding the angle here is not only going to be safer, but also provide actual value. And then as soon as you vacate the angle, it's immediately filled by our best friend Cardifan. So you're going to get pushed here. That's okay.
Yeah.
You're built for that. It's not wrong to take a calculated risk. And so now you're in a situation where you're having to retake space for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
Now, the question is why? Why did you rotate away? Do you remember your thought process at this point in time?
I mean, I'm just like playing scared. I see that their Doom drops, and I'm a little bit too scared. I could definitely take that 1v1,
Yeah.
stay and play that mini.
As long as
and
you
I
have
still
packs.
Hinder. Yeah.
As long as you have packs, you roll Hinder to full HP. Be confident. You know, if you
Yeah.
fail the 1v1, would Lip run away from a Doomfist here? No.
Nah.
Now you're like, oh, I'm not Lip. Yeah, but this isn't Gushui and Doomfist either, with all due respect to Cardi fan. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and even if it is, then even if he's better than you on Doomfist, you don't want to build bad habits because you're giving the teammates respect. Because the way to think about it is, okay, if he's better than I am, but I make the right decision and die, but die with honor and make it expensive, then in theory, whoever's better on my team than the enemy player will be able to make this exact same play, right? Don't try to cut down on deaths. Because, ironically, this is a poor play. So the question is, do you want to make a poor play, or not a poor play? Do you want to die making a good play, or live making a poor play, right?
Got it.
Like, because you might as well be dead right now. In fact, you're demanding more resources because you rotate in the open. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Don't try to cheat the system. Don't try to be like, oh, I'm trying to avoid feeding because I'm the M1 player in a GM3 lobby. No. Do what you need to do with the character. Okay. I honestly think Cassidy's kind of hard to play in this map. I'm impressed that you've been able to find as much value as you had. Just considering how rough fall-off can be. You need to rotate out. Oh. Unfortunate timing with your Sigma, but yeah, this is too naked. Yeah, there's nothing you can really do here. This is where I think you probably could have been a little bit better at, like, rotating out to the angle here and dying here. Just because it's a shorter angle. If you die, you die, you know? Again, it's kind of one of those moments where, in your attempts to disengage, look at where your positioning goes. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is just open space. Either you commit to cover shorter, or you commit to cover deeper. If you float, you die. You know? And I know you're probably more thinking about, like, it doesn't really matter that much. We've probably lost the fight, but then, well. You know what I'm saying? What if this guy gets what if this guy gets one, you know? And then you die, but you force Doom ult, right? So it's like, okay, we're still gonna die, but like at least I'm gonna force something. Okay. Good. Could have hindered that. Also, could have easily pushed the soldier too. I'm not scared of a soldier here.
Yeah.
You know? Now it's too late, because now, again,
it's way too
look at where you die, right? To open space again. Open space again.
Yeah.
So just, I think so far, like, keeping it really simple so that we can kind of prepare ourselves for the problem-solving section. Your problems have been a little bit too much open space, either through lack of confidence, not knowing exactly where to go. By the way, that actually slows you down by a tiny bit, so just keep that in mind.
The 360?
By a millimeter, right? We got to min-max here, okay?
Yeah.
This is going to be the key thing you need to hear to get back to GM2. But yeah, I just think for whatever reason, whether it's lack of confidence, getting a little sloppy, whatever, it's like we're catching you too often in an open space where your effective range becomes a problem. This is really good. Good hinder. Obviously a bit of mechanics here, which is going to kind of smoke you. But this is fine. Okay. Like even here, it's like you need to commit. You need to commit all the way to the angle here again, or you need to commit your rotation wide here to close the distance, right? None of this floating back here. I think it's maybe noon that you're thinking about. But still. Fine. Interesting flux. Felt like she was dead either way. Let's take some space. Any questions so far?
No, I think that all makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, again, be very careful about floating. Now this sucks because it's New Queen Street, so
Yeah.
The good news though is that like, okay, the bad news is that you have Sleep and Doomfist ult to worry about, but like in theory you can open up deeper angles because you're playing Cassidy with High Noon, right? So you could do some sniper angles, but I actually don't even know if that's smart here. So with the space that we're at right here, what are your options? Give me 2.
I mean, I could play like at door, like bottom right, but I feel like that's kind of far. Like I'm not really gonna be able to do much damage from there. I could also play close to where my brig is, like around that pole.
So kind of where you're at right now, kind of holding this left angle here.
Yeah. The only thing is like if they peek top, I'm a little bit vulnerable.
Yeah, that's your effective range though. Like outside of anti-nade, you're okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a riskier option.
I could play close to bot, use bot as cover.
That's not holding an angle. You're playing open space, no bueno.
Yeah.
There's no reward for the risk.
I mean, I could play more stacked on my sig. I don't really want to like swing that angle and like walk out right. I feel like that's like really risky.
Agreed. It's just open space, right? So this is no good. You ready for this one? Go. Late, but this is space that you're friendly with, right? So this is the angle that you should be taking. Now, when you peak, this needs to be properly timed and probably a little bit late, but at least there's reward for the risk, right?
Got it.
If Maka can do this on Ana, you can do this on Cassidy, right?
Is this given that there's a soldier there, or just like in general?
No, regardless. Yeah, if the soldier's not here, then what would you do if this is timed well? Like you would get here like now. You'd get here like right now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, Merry Christmas, right?
Yeah.
You know, when there's not a good angle for just like honest gameplay, like kind of like you when you were here, right? Like this is just honest gameplay angle, right? There's not an honest angle. There's no real downside to playing high risk, high reward.
Got it.
Because this like you're going to be outvalued by their DPS with this position, right? Their soldier. There's nothing you can do. Soldier has a better angle. Their Ana has a better angle. Their Tracer has a better angle. There's nothing you can do. So you might as well... I mean, I don't hate what you're doing right now because it's technically low risk, low reward, but the reward is really low, like really low.
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't done any damage.
Yeah, I was also looking left because I figured their soldier would flank with like visor maybe.
It's a good, like, I like you problem solving here, right? That was good. But the problem is that why would he flank with visor when he could do this with visor?
Yeah, that's true.
When his positioning is so superior, there's no reason for him to take risks. So he has the opposite situation where just this position is low risk, high reward. So why go for the high risk, high reward angle when he can just go here instead?
I see.
So the problem solving here is when you have a horrific position. Another example, Shambali third attack. You got me? You're playing into Hanzo on Cassidy. Okay?
Yeah.
Please don't play angles on cart. Flank deep right. Yeah. Why? Because you have no reason to do anything else. It's not going to work. You might as well. Yeah. So the problem solving here is when you're at a really bad part of the map for you, you should be more willing to take higher risk angles because they at least will provide a reward.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so the problem here, and I don't know if this is a consistent problem with you or if it just happened this once, but this does raise a yellow flag of your problem solving in terms of your positioning when the positioning is bad could be better. Being more willing to take more risk when things are going poorly.
I see.
Just based off of what the map gives you. Like right now, we don't need you to be silly. You could flank all the way here. I know Lip would. I know Lethal would. But you don't have to. Why? Does the map give you decent, honest options? Yeah. So we don't have to. I still want you on an angle. Yeah. I would say the only problem I would have here is I don't know how much of an angle you were actually on, given where your team is. You feel a little stacked here. You see this?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind you taking more space, pushing out Tracer a little bit. I wouldn't mind you swinging out to help your Sigma. Honestly, probably Tracer's probably your best bet given the space here. But this feels a little claustrophobic. You get what I'm saying? Which is ironic because even high-level players will be like, oh yeah, on a brig, Tracer, Cassidy, small room, we're safe, right? No, you're not.
Yeah.
You're not. AoE punch, Doom ult, pulse bomb, anti-nade, helix. This is just a death trap. Go ahead.
I think I rotated in there like before I saw my on a brig, and then I didn't adjust once they...
Yeah. So it's fine. Well, that's why I'm not sweating over it too much. Sure. Yeah, I mean, why do anything different? This angle's fine. Yeah, so. Sure. I mean, it's scary, right? Empowered punch and Cardi fan, you know, but
Yeah.
that's a skill check, you know? You did fine. It's fine. So that is not your fault. Your team rotated into you, and so then gave him punch, and then you got AoE punched again.
Yeah.
So this so far, go next. The angle is fine. The noon was probably fine as well. It happens. The only thing I would question is maybe was there something besides noon? Like, is can I push Brig? Right, like that's probably better. But that's much more of a micro thing. The problem is just you can't win when this happens. I'm sorry, you just can't.
Yeah.
You fed punch and then 4K. Like that's kind of inexcusable from your team. So it happens. And yeah, we swapped Sojourn. Okay, so you tell me, besides the egregious lack of hinders on Doomfist, what's been wrong with Cassidy?
Well, as far as like
Has there been anything wrong with
positioning,
Cassidy?
Yeah, so as far as positioning, I've been a little bit too like eager to like walk into open spaces. Like I got caught out a couple times. And then also like in like parts of the map where my positioning is kind of like subpar, I kind of just like stay there. I don't like
Yep.
try to take deeper angles, try to get more value.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
think that's contributing to the fact that like I felt like I wasn't doing anything on Cass here.
Yep. Now, why on paper, I obviously have no idea what's going to actually happen here, but why on paper should maybe some of those problems be alleviated with Sojourn?
I mean, I think I can take better angles. Like I can
Why?
off angle harder.
Why?
Just I have better range on Sojourn.
Right, but why does that matter in this map?
Because of the long sight lines.
Yeah, that's it. So you're going to accidentally pick a character that fits the map better, and all of a sudden your positioning is probably going to feel a little bit better just because you picked the right character for the right map. You get what I'm saying? So ultimately,
Yeah.
your problem solving here didn't really recognize, you know, what angle should it be taking, swapped a character kind of randomly, and it turns out that's a much better character for the map. Congratulations.
Okay, cool.
You know? So the problem solving needs to be I am paying a little bit more attention to what the map gives me. Not just when it comes to what angles should I take. In other words, go for higher risk angles when the angles are bad, right?
Yeah.
But also when I go hero swaps. Like I don't play Winston on first point circuit royale. You get me? Not
Yeah.
because I'm a bad Winston. Okay, actually I'm a terrible Winston. But the point being is that like I can't do what I need to do on first point circuit royale.
I
So
see.
right now I would not want to be Cassidy right now. You get me?
Yeah.
This would suck
Yeah.
with Cassidy. You need to get split from your honor brig. Like really truly. You need to walk away from them and hold an angle and save your slide. Because this is
Yeah.
like you guys keep getting like 3-man punch, 3-man naded over and over and over again. Like Cardi fan is getting so much zoning value. This is fine. The whole point of running Ana Brigitte is that you can pocket each other without being stacked, right? Like Inspire is the least important thing that Ana Brigitte provides. Where should you be right now? You have slide? You got a little bit of real charge? Or no, you don't. Never mind. So you have a little bit of slide, though, at least. Where do you go?
Probably top left.
Top left, walk. Let's go. Bait this. Like, you want Doomfist on you.
Yeah.
Yep. Keep going. Keep going. Nope, not here. Here. Why? What's the difference?
I can see backline if I peek
See
left.
backline, deeper angle and longer distance, right?
Yeah.
And boy, that was painful, right? Look at that.
Yeah.
Easy peasy. Nice job. Good stuff. Sure. Sure. Okay. Any questions so far again?
No, I think that all makes sense.
Happens. Didn't know she was there. Sure. Longer angle. We were here a little late, but it's okay. Let me look at this disruptor shot here. I'm actually just more out of curiosity. Oh yeah, it's unfortunate. The cast time caught you there. It's okay. Now where do you go? You have some information here. Soldier left, Tracer dead. Where do you go?
Honestly, I probably slide left, take 1v1 with Soldier.
You could. You could also slide up top here.
Yeah, I think the only reason I was hesitant was because my Genji's already there, but I guess it's already up.
Nice shots. Okay. Now, your range means that you don't have to go for as much aggressive stuff here. You can be a little bit more honest. Where should you be?
Top left.
Top left, not on cart. You need to open your angle here. You need to pull Cardifan to you here and then slide out to safety.
Yeah.
The difference is how you got there. You know, so like I'm glad that you're here, but obviously it sucks that you slid there. So now, because now you have to be like super respectful.
Yeah.
And honestly, I would not be giving up my angle here. I'm really like you need to be on that angle, not leaving that angle.
Yeah.
This is not where you want to be, right? And so again, and now you've slid out, and now you've lost space. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I was slow to take it, and I should have just been able to walk there.
Yep, there needs to be more space, like more emphasis on what angles that you can safely hold based off of the information. This is good. Probably worth the risk. But then obviously now here it's like, because you gave it up, you either have to slide to the angle or walk on main. It sucks, right? It sucks. Like there just isn't a good choice now. Like I think sliding to the angle is probably the better choice, but obviously it comes with risks, right? Now you would have died, if it makes you feel any better, you would have died here anyway. So you just basically chose your poison. But yeah. Okay, let's keep going.
I think that's the end. So I don't think.
Oh, you're right. I thought you guys had the lead. My bad. Okay, let's get another code here.
All right.
So your problem solving sucks. You need to work on your problem solving, right? Let's be honest. What was really bad with your problem solving? What needed to be done better with your problem solving?
Like the angles that I'm taking. Given like what hero I'm on.
What the angles you take depending on what hero you're on. The angles you take and whether you even have a good angle, so you're more likely to take more risk. And being aware of, okay, if both angle bad, then I take risk.
I see.
Okay, now why this code?
So I did want to look at a Genji code, because I am a flex CPS player. I've been playing Genji like the past like couple months, like almost exclusively. I showed you the Sojourn VOD because I have the confidence / ego to think that I should be able to play like every hero to that level. And I did want to just like get the higher level like problem solving thing that I came in with and like figure out how that like connects between different heroes.
Sure.
But I did want to look at the Genji VOD here.
Okay. Just a gentle reminder that no, you can't play every character. Nobody can. You ever seen Lip play like a Tracer? I know people look at him as like, oh, he's like one of the better hit scan tracers, but he's still like not even in the top 15, 20 tracers like of all time. Like he it's not a super strong character for him. So and that's Lip. You know, he's a freak of nature, and like I said, probably the best hit scan tracer in the world. But he ain't proper. You know, he's not.
That's true. I also think that like this is also an ego thing, but like if Lip can have like a bunch of heroes that are still like better than where I am, then I think I should at least be trying to aim to get to that level. You know what I mean? Like I'm not expecting all my heroes to be the best, but I do think all of them could be a lot better.
You're saying you're going to be the Lip of that you could play every character at a GM2 level.
I feel like there are a lot of players that can do that though, right? Like at least in ranked, you know, not in scrims, not in like organized play, but like I should at least be able to play like some of those hit scan heroes.
Sure, but you got to put in the same amount of hours as Lip does then.
That's true. I mean, low-key, I kind of do. But
you're putting in 6-7 hours every day.
You should see how many ranked games I have this season. But
yeah, but how long have you been doing 6 to 7 hours?
Not that long. I only started playing comp like a year ago.
Okay, see, this is the absurd is coming out here. You know what I'm saying? So here, I had this conversation the other day where it's like, there's nothing wrong with the perfectionism, but don't let perfectionism tell you lies.
That's fair.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's fine to set high standards for yourself, but don't sit there and be like, oh yeah, why can't I be like, come on, a year? Are you kidding me? Like
Yeah.
that's like chicken feed. You know, Lip's been around for
Yeah.
6 years. You know, so like,
Yeah.
there's just no way that you're gonna be able to do that. So,
Yeah.
okay. The other thing too with ranked players performing in other characters, it might also be that they have that problem solving of knowing which character to pick on which map and abusing that.
Yeah.
So they just always pick the right. Like if I'm looking at the enemy comp in the current map here, so I see Sojourn, Genji, Ryan. This is probably a situation where attack Sojourn would feel really good. Sombra actually wouldn't be half bad versus this if you could play Sombra here.
I can't play Sombra.
yeah, so-
I don't
so-
play like variety heroes like Sombra.
Yeah,
Torps.
yeah, you could get away with certain characters versus this, but like, yeah, I think like that's kind of like what I'm looking at here. Genji's fine versus this. Vancouver Titan skin. Okay. Is that just for the colors, or you have a fan of any of the players?
Hoxall was on the Titans for a little
That's
bit.
true. Okay, Hoxall fan. Do you have Hoxall sensitivity?
I play on 10.5, and then
And
everything
what's
else
your
is
DPI?
like 5.3, 800.
Oh my gosh. That is a high sense for Genji. I was gonna say it looks a little jittery. That's why I gotta ask.
No, it's weird because like all my other heroes, I'm like 5.6 or something, but just gotten used to it.
All right. Again, as the other stuff, I'm gonna kind of let it play until I get a better read of what's going on. So far, all of it's
Yeah.
been okay. You're holding angles. You're playing relatively well in terms of the positions that you're taking. I'm gonna lose my mind. Don't do this. Please don't do this. The exceptions to this rule are like BAP window, fire strike, Malga cardiac, right?
Yeah.
That could be pretty useful. But I don't know why this is now a thing for. I don't know if it's always been a thing and I've just been paying attention to it the last year and a half. But like this is just not smart. Like this means if you get pushed, you're dead. It also means we know where you're gonna go. Out or dead,
Yeah.
right? And now you're useless, and now you've lost space. What could you have done with this deflect and position instead?
Gone right.
Yeah, dash. I would have straight up dashed here, not straight up dashed here or here. Hold the space here. Play the mini. Where is the mini? Mini's down here. No, Mega's down here. Sorry, mini's over here. And then deflect and hold the angle, right? The deflect is what
Yeah.
allows you to hold positions, right? And so that's where you can do more than the enemy Genji. You just-
I actually don't know why I did this. Maybe I was expecting bubble. I'm not sure.
But why? What would you do with the bubble?
I mean, just a farm charge. But yeah, I mean, I could have.
She doesn't need your help charming charge, you know? She just shoots. Now if you... Nice flick. If you have deflect, take space aggressively. That doesn't mean stay in front of your tank. Okay. Like that, right? You don't do that if you don't have deflect, right? That's what allows you to go for the dash reset there, to go for the kill, because you had deflect. You don't have deflect there, you probably die.
Yeah.
Okay.
This ends now.
Yeah, this was fine. You guys just lost a lot of space and they popped double ultimates and you guys didn't press Q. It's fine. I'm not going to skip because I'm a coward. I'm scared the replay code's going to crash, so...
Yeah, I was trying to watch replays to find some good games and I crashed like 10 times.
You can't skip forward. You can't skip forward. You can scroll wheel, but you can't skip forward. Or, like, skip the speed, but you can't go back. Honestly? Oh, your Ana doesn't have nano. Crud. I was going to say, just go for it. I know what I would let it rip.
Yeah.
Nice. Sure. So far, so good. Yep. Good stuff. Nice. I would be very careful about the extension there, like post-forcing lamp, right? Just because it costs you your dash to get the lamp. But
Yeah.
you trusted your mechanics. You still had your deflect, right? So everything feels better there. Overall, I've really liked like the positions that you've been holding in this map. I think it's been good. Always kind of leaning towards the side where there's more congested space. It's been much better than your Cassidy in terms of like what angles to hold.
Yeah.
Which obviously it's something that you're thinking a lot more with Genji because you know it's a flanker, but it's been fine. That is a mechanical disaster. The blade itself was well set up and fine, but you cannot lose your dash like that without reward. Because if you think back, I'm not going to go back without crashing, but the dash through the Juno puts you here. Slash dash, just that's not going to happen on a Juno inside of her own ultimate, right?
Yeah.
It's never going to happen. So sit on her, slash, 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 or change your targets, or just straight up dash out, disengage, and take the trade that you got.
Yeah.
The setup was good. The execution after that was horrendous. Yeah. Okay. A little bit of a harder space for Genji. At least you can angle from here, which is nice, but the space does open up a little bit. You're killing me. Probably won't be punished for that because the fight's not starting just yet, but always good to hold the angle here and try to not get that deflect burned. Honestly, I saw the vision. Felt like an earned deflect. Just too early, too fast, too soon. Took too much damage on the entry.
Yeah.
But I will say, problem-solving wise, why does Genji all of a sudden feel really hard? Well, why?
The way I'm using my deflect.
Partly. Here's
Also
a
that
hint.
angle that I'm taking.
Here's a hint. Look at this map.
Yeah, I should be on right.
Well, honestly, I don't know. This is just a wide open space, period. You know? I don't think this was a bad idea. You are using your verticality, and this is a short range off angle. But it is, you can't really connect with Juno at all. Right? You can't even get consistent pressure on Ramattra because you have to freaking wall climb for every set of shurikens that you throw. Right? If you go right, what's the problem with going here?
I can't really get help if I get pushed.
Right, and everything's still far away, right? So there's no real solution here. So this is where if you were to swap, you would go, Widow, or you would go Sombra, or you would go Sojourn if you didn't already have one, or you'd go something along those lines just because the space of the map has opened up. So I don't mind you playing this out and making this happen, but I don't be surprised if you run into difficulties here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, probably even Tracer here would be better because you could actually take that deeper right flank without worrying about lack of self-sustain.
See, like now that you point that out, like I can see it and I can see why it's like not working, but I think I just have this problem in game where I feel like things are happening too fast, like even between deaths where like I feel like we have the lead at first and then it's like 30 seconds and then we've lost the game. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like in game, I'm not able to slow things down and pick that apart, which I think I should be able to do.
Well, you shouldn't be able to do it. You're not born with skills. You have to train them, right? The reason that I know this is because I've coached and thought about this map hundreds of times. So I go third point, wide open space, sniper or deep flanker, right?
I see.
So I'm thinking about third point before I even get there. Because I'm thinking, okay, I wonder if I'm going to swap here. Like, if I'm playing Winston on second point because there's some verticality, I'm already thinking, can I even force Winston on this attack here? Probably not. I should probably go Sigma. I mean, it's not an accident that your teammates went Sig and Zen.
Yeah.
They just swapped Sig and Zen right now off of Zarya and whatever else they were on, Ana or something, right? It makes sense. Why? Because the geometry of the map. Geometry of the map. That's it. So for you need to start thinking about geometry of the map. What does the map give me? And then making your hero picks and then how you're playing, and as a result, rotate around that. And you're like, oh, I should be able to do that. Well, stop throwing pity parties and practice it, right? Can you play Tracer?
Yeah.
Okay, then play Tracer. That's probably your best pick. What are your other picks here? Ashe as well, you said?
Ashe. I'd say I pretty much play like all the DPS outside of like Torb Sim.
But not Sombra or Widow, right?
I play Widow. I don't play Sombra though.
Okay, Widow might be tough with where you're being stuffed right now, but either Ashe or Tracer would probably feel pretty good here.
Okay, and I remembered I did swap Ashe second round, but
But you can see it's like so hard to get space here, right?
Yeah.
There's no verticality, there's no angles, that's not getting stuffed.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, I'm not making the adjustments. Ah, dang it! I got distracted. I didn't lock in. I need to work on my problem solving. I need to work on. Yay. All right.
Client problem solving.
Tell you what. Here's what we're gonna do. You're going to tell me what you swapped to on defense and where you swapped. So you said Ashe, right?
Man, I really thought they were gonna fix that last patch, but
Did you swap on Ashe on defense?
yeah.
Okay. How long did you play? Well, so first off, did you stay Genji for the entirety of the attack?
Yes, I did.
I assume you didn't cap.
No, we didn't cap. We got stuck. We pushed it like a little bit further, but we got stuck. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Shocker. Right.
Yeah.
Defense. Not saying that's all on you, of course. Like there's little things like, okay, you probably shouldn't have died there, or you messed up the combo and Ramatra and got bounce nated the fight before that. Like there's always things you could do better, but lowest hanging fruit here. Okay. So then defense, did you stay in Ashe the entirety?
Let me look real quick.
You might not be able to look.
Oh, and I got my bad.
Yeah, get fricked, buddy.
I think I stayed on Ashe.
Okay,
yeah.
does Ashe make sense for all of the defense?
No, I say like the back half of first point and like second point are like not great. Like I'd rather be on like a Genji or Tracer.
Is it enough to swap and lose ult charge and perk progress?
Probably not. I feel like you could probably make
I
Ashe
agree.
work.
I agree.
Yeah.
So Ashe is probably a character that you should probably stay with for the entirety of the defense, unless they're going like Ball Sombra Tracer, right?
Yeah.
So then that would be a situation where you would focus more on, how am I positioning? How am I using my cooldowns? Did you guys lose that match?
Yeah, we lost.
So then you would want to look at that and you look at your play, right? You look at how am I positioning, like the Cassidy stuff. Like, am I making the most of what I'm given? But what I'm noticing with your problem solving from the very, 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 very small sample size that we looked at here is a lot of the feelings of like, I'm not doing anything or I don't know what to do is because you're probably not playing the best character for the map. It's not an accident that you played well with Genji on first and second.
Yeah.
Your Genji's good. Your Genji was fine. Like I think the front lane deflux was definitely something that you needed to clean up, but it was the geometry was very friendly to the character. A lot of short sight lines, a lot of verticality. It was good. As soon as it opened up, you immediately hit a brick wall. Same thing with the Cassidy. Everything was fine until we started to get to the back half of third and stuff started to open up a little bit more. And then you, first off, didn't adjust, didn't recognize the difficulties and make something happen. And then didn't know what to do, right? So you could apply that same kind of logic to the Genji on third point there. Give it one more fight, right? Do something a little bit more aggressive or be really disciplined with your cover usage. Like find the best value that you possibly can. If it doesn't work, swap.
I see.
So I want you to focus on map geometry and like whether this point is friendly to my type of DPS character as your number one focus for my quote unquote problem solving deficiency. And then number two is when I am playing this character, even if it's suboptimal, whatever, what is the angle that makes sense when I don't have good positions? Can I go, where should I be? What angle should I choose? What space should I control? And if I don't have a good position, should I go for high risk, high reward? That's your second problem solving challenge.
Got it. When I'm like stuck on
When
heroes
you're
where
stuck.
I can't. Okay.
Right. When you're stuck and you're like, okay, I'm not sure. Because I don't want you to obsessively swap either, right? Like, because there is a big opportunity cost. Like, you might miss an opportunity to learn. You might lose perk progress. You'll lose ult charge. So it is good to stay whenever you can. But if you're like, okay, this is, I'm going to make this work. Okay, well then how? How are you going to make it work? Tell the class. You know what I'm saying? And with Cassidy, it felt like moments where you didn't. Now, I want to give you some credit. I think the one time that you held on the low ground in Cassidy, remember that? And you were worried about soldier flank with the ult, right? Remember that? I actually am okay with that. I think it was the wrong decision. You problem solved in the wrong way, but I'm happy to say that there was a decision, a conscious decision that led you to making that choice. That's good.
Yeah.
What I'm more worried about is when you don't really know what to do and nothing happens. That's the real thing to avoid.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions?
No, I think that all makes sense. I do want to just say that I feel like one problem that I've had is like I'm not able to like look critically at my own play, like without coaching. Like I was always like hounding Temporal for VOD reviews like every week, and
Yeah.
I do think it's important, but like I want to be able to like see some of these things by myself. And I know that you said that like you have all of that experience and like all of that, but like I don't know. I'd like to be able to do some of that
Sure.
on my own.
So do it. How would you start? If I were to say right now, I need you to problem solve whether you were making the right swaps for the right map, and you were to pull out one or two replay codes, what would you do?
Well, I would look at like what the type of map is, like what the sightlines are, the ranges, and then see if the heroes I was on like match up with that.
Sure.
Like
sure.
makes sense.
Do you think that you'd be able to spot out some moments where you made good choices and bad choices with the knowledge that you have right now?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so there you go.
Okay.
There you go. You're not going to be as good as it as I am, but you're going to be better than you think.
Yeah.
I helped maybe give you some ideas of how you can coach yourself, but you need to do that yourself. And then what about if you pick the right character for the right map, but you still got stuck? Okay, then what's the second step? Then what should you look at?
Look at like the angles I'm taking and like try to figure out why I'm not getting value on them.
And that's
like,
it.
if it's, like,
Congratulations.
micro things or
That's it. That's it. I think you're smart enough to do that. Now, you're going to miss some moments and maybe come to the wrong conclusion occasionally, but it's still going to be overall a very beneficial, productive thing for you to do.
Got it.
Yep.
Cool.
There you go.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I really appreciate you doing this. This